Hi, I'm Bruce Young, the inventor of Laserlure.
Hi, I'm Mike Lopez, National Sales Manager for Laserlure, and we are going to talk to you about the most innovative lure on the market today. It is called the Laserlure, Laser Enhanced Technology. Hey Bruce, I wanted to ask you, what made you think of the Laserlure?
Well, the Laserlure was actually an accident. It wasn't something I intended to invent. I used to own a gun store, and I had lots of fish tanks. I got a new Glock with a laser on it, and I shined the Glock in the fish tank. Well, every fish would chase and bite that dot. They'd bite a rock or bite sand, or I could put it on the side of a big fish, and a little fish would come up and hit him, and the big fish turn around and eat him. Well, this went on for 6 months before I thought, well, what if I put a hook on that dot? Laserlure. And the next day I went to SeaWorld to test my theory. And what I found out was any fish that eats other fish, any meat eater, will attack laser light the same as your cat or dog does. They'll do it till they're exhausted. And we found some sharks won't hit it and a few catfish won't. But carp, tilapia, that type of thing will actually run from it. But they're not game fish and we're not really after those fish.
Well Bruce, one of the most common questions I get is, why red laser light? Does it actually disappear after 4 foot of water?
Well, you know, that's a very good question because a lot of people sell fishing line that's supposed to disappear in the water. If red actually disappeared, we'd paint all our submarines red and we'd never know where they were. The reality is red actually becomes a dark dot. It doesn't disappear. But with laser light, it's completely different. There's not a spectrum of light making it up like from the sun where the light goes through, passes through the water, and actually red's the first color to dissipate, so you don't see red anymore. It becomes a dark color. Where with red laser light, it's a pure red light. At 3,000 feet under the sea, it's still red. Or 5,000 miles up in the atmosphere, it's still red because it's pure red light. So at no point does this disappear or fade away at all.
Well, what do you think about the advantages of fishing a laser lure in muddy water?
Well, the muddy water is actually a big contributor to the strike zone. What happens is the silt gets above the water and it actually blocks the sun. If you were to get in the water and look at what the fish is seeing, it's dark down there. About the time you can no longer see the lure is about the time it's dark. My strike zone is no longer small. It doesn't get smaller, it gets bigger and bigger. So fish can hit it from further away. So you'll get strikes where before you had to pitch it within 6 inches of his face, I can throw it 3 feet away from his face and still pull the fish out. So you get more strikes.
Well, one of the things I noticed on this lure that it's highly detailed. Can you tell me about that?
Well, one of the things that we did is looking at the baits when we first started this, we didn't want to make a laser lure. We wanted to make the world's best baits and then enhance it with a laser. So the embossing is just something that we felt was creates a bigger disturbance to the water. It creates a different profile for the fish, and it also just feels nice to touch.
Well, let me ask you, how often do I have to change the battery on it?
You don't change the battery. The battery's completely sealed up. It's a lithium-ion battery. And what that means to you is, sitting on the shelf, it won't go dead. It only loses 4% of its energy a year. So 3 years from now, you'd still have 88% of the life left. And the life of this is 80 hours in the water, which if you could keep this wet for 2 hours in one day, you'd be throwing probably 800 casts in one day. So it's, for most fishermen, it's 2 to 3 years of fishing. And if you're a really, really hardcore guy, it's a year's worth. Now, when the laser goes out, you still have a world-class bait, but once you get used to using the laser light, you'll give that to your buddy and you'll pick up another laser lure. With laser lures, you'll simply catch more fish than any other lure.
Folks, sit back and watch the big bass caught today on the laser lure. Unfavorable conditions, 94-degree weather, from 9 a.m. in the morning till 4 o'clock. Really hot day, clear skies, and the laser lure simply produced more strikes and bigger fish. Simply catch more fish, bigger bass, laser lure.
What we're going to do is introduce our complete line of lures. We have 5 baits on the market in 8 colors. Our first bait is a topwater popper. Our second bait is a super shallow diver, which dives to about 12 inches. If you hold the tip up, it acts like a wake bait. Our third bait is a square lipped, perfect for banging into woods and trees. It dives to about 3 to 5 foot. And our fourth bait is a jerk bait, which acts almost like a suspending bait with a slow rise. It's about a 2 to 4 foot swimmer. Our fifth bait is our deep diver, which dives to about 12 foot. In addition to these lures that we have completed, we're developing 11 more baits. The first one coming out will be our new Rattling laser, and you'll need to look for all this very, very soon.
Laser lure, simply catch more fish.